As people join, I'm going to go ahead and start a beautiful video, a song, and people will be coming in, and at the end of the song, we will get started. So with that,
Perfect.
I'm going to play the
רכישת רוח ים מנשבת מאי שם וכביסה מתנפנפת לצילי החומה بين الأرض والسماء ناس كتير بعيشوا سوا ما تخافوا تحلموا بالسلام والأمان متى يمسوا خمات הפחד ושבתי מגלותי ייפתחו שעריי אל הטוב האמיתי
I want to thank you for standing up for peace alongside your Palestinian sisters. I want to thank you and to let you know that in the world that we live in, peace is possible only when women of integrity and faith stand up for the future of their children. Congratulations. It is my hope that you will continue to battle for peace in a constructive way. And I look forward to the day that I will come and join you. Thank you for the children of Israel. Thank you for the children of Palestine. Thank you. Peace. Shalom.
From the north to the south, from the west to the east, hear the prayer of the mothers. Bring them peace, bring them peace. From the north to the south, from the west to the east.
I swear I've listened to that song 50 times and I could listen to it 50 more. So I want to welcome everybody. I'm going to give a very brief introduction because we want to hear from these amazing ladies. My name is Rhonda Grimm. I'm president of NCJW. And just a quick thing, everybody will have the opportunity to put questions either in the Q&A or the chat. I'll be monitoring it. And then at the end, we will have some time, hopefully, for some questions. But with that, I would love to uh, introduce the program about women wage peace. It's founded in the aftermath of the 50-day Gaza War, Operation Protective Edge of 2014. Women Wage Peace has grown to 50,000 Israeli members, the largest grassroots peace movement in Israel today. Women Wage Peace's theory of change refracts the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and its resolution through a gendered lens. In the words of former US Ambassador Swanee Hunt, women tend to have a more holistic view of security, which embraces not just political sovereignty and military strength, but also economic security, education, and personal safety. The movement is nonpartisan and does not support any one specific solution to the conflict. Instead, it empowers women from diverse communities to build trust across divides, leading in turn to a unified demand for a diplomatic negotiation with full representation of women to end the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So with this, our panel from Women Wage Peace, let me do a quick introduction. We've got Karen Kisos, who's from New Jersey. She lives now in Modi'in, Israel, and has been involved with Women Wage Peace for 10 years. She helps build support groups in the US. Regula, who I believe is going to be joining in a few minutes, is from Switzerland and now lives in Israel. In her involvement with Women Wage Peace, Regula is the organizer for all international support groups. And we have Denise Israel, is originally from Austria, lived many years in Israel, and now resides in Sedona, Arizona. She got actively involved after October 7th and tries to introduce Women Wage Peace to as many communities as possible here in the United States. So I'd love to welcome these ladies. And before we get started, I wanted to give Sister Martha Ann Kirk an opportunity to introduce herself.
I lived in Israel for an academic sabbatical in 1995 and had an opportunity to make so many friends there. I have been there 13 times, but one of the most memorable experiences in my life and something that has shaped my thinking was a conference at Hebrew University in 2000 on militarization. And the women talked about young people being taught that the other is our enemy rather than potentially our friend. And the group of people that I met at Hebrew University invited me to stand with them with women in Black, downtown Jerusalem, the Bat Shalom women, the Maxim Watch women who stand at the checkpoint, and they let me hold their sign, "We refuse to be enemies." And so it delights me that 25 years after learning so much from those women, Karen, whom you see on the screen, has really welcomed me and mentored me in Women Wage Peace. And it is the same idea. We choose to be friends with each other. We choose to build positive relationships. So I am so grateful that friends of mine from Israel are speaking now to friends in San Antonio. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Ann, for all you, Martha Ann, for all you do. So yes, let me turn this over now to Denise. Take it away.
Thank you, and shalom, salam, and peace. Good morning to everybody, or good afternoon. I would like to start by mentioning a most important fact before we start the slideshow and the presentation. And that fact is, of course, that all the living hostages who went through hell and back for 738 days are finally home with their families and loved ones. Nothing is more important, but the task is not done. It will not be done until the last of the hostages will be repatriated for a proper burial. But in the meantime, I'd like to express our gratitude. I'd like to express the gratitude of the members of Women Wage Peace, as well as the Israeli population at large, to President Donald Trump and the US government, which spared no efforts in bringing about a ceasefire, however fragile, to the region, and they deserve the credit for bringing those hostages home alive. And there are two movements, the slide of which you can see on the screen here, that have been involved in trying to create a different trajectory, a different agenda for years now. Women Wage Peace, of course, started in 2014. Like Rhonda mentioned, Women of the Sun a little bit later than that. Both of these organizations were born out of a desperate longing for a better tomorrow for our children, for a wish to raise them in life, for life and not for death. And each of the founders had their own story. Our own founder, Yael Admi, who lost a brother in one of the earlier conflicts involving the state of Israel. Reem Hajjajri from Women of the Sun, just worried every day that her sons would be arrested or worse. And it made them think and try to figure out a way to change things, to make things a little different. And so we go to the second slide, which has a slogan, "Let us be pro-peace." It sounds simple, but it is not. In the polarized world that we live in, most people are either pro this or anti that, and they will voice their opinions any which way they can to make their voice known. And it is understandable, but what we are trying to do, what I've been trying to do is tell people to stop and think. Stop for a moment and stop being pro-Israeli, stop being pro-Palestine. Just breathe and be pro-peace. Just take all that energy, that negative energy that you're putting into whatever it is that you're protesting against, and put it into positive energy to protest and to work for something that could actually really change something, that could mean something for us. And that is, of course, to be pro-peace and to try and find a solution that is different than what we have now. Peace, I would like to remind everybody, is never made among friends. Peace is always made by enemies, among enemies. And therefore, we believe that there is a possibility to create a different narrative if we only work hard enough. But, you know, reality is still with us, and it is important to mention that we have lost very important friends along the way. We can move to the next slide. One of the most important and visible figures who lost her life on October the 7th is, of course, Vivian Silver. She was an Israeli Canadian. She lived in Be'eri, in Otef Aza, in the envelope Moshavim of Gaza. And she was very instrumental in helping Gazans reach medical assistance, do whatever she could for peace, talk, speak. anything. She was murdered on October 7th, 2023, in her shelter, in her house in Be'eri. And we, of course, miss her and mourn that loss among all the other losses. The other one is, lo and behold, a black frame. And that is a lady that her name was Nadia. She lived in Gaza, and she was a member of Women of the Sun. And of course, not so much, of course, we cannot show her picture because we have been told that if we would, it could endanger her family that still lives in Gaza. And she was killed during the conflict at some point in January of 2024. And in order to commemorate these women and all the people that have been lost in that conflict, I would like just for a moment to observe silence. Let us turn over to the next slide, please. Thank you. The collaboration between the two movements was not an easy birth. It took quite some time. Officially, the collaboration was cemented in 2022, in March of 2022, when Women Wage Peace and Women of the Sun signed a declaration, if you so will. They signed a very important declaration called the Mother's Call. They met with a very, very festive event, as you can see, near the Dead Sea. On the left, we have representatives of Women Wage Peace dressed in white, a Muslim woman also by the name of Nadia. There is Orna, one of the Jewish participants, Hiam, Christian, and of course Yael Admi, our founding member. On the left side, dressed in black, are Women of the Sun. The first one is a lady by the name of Leila, who lost a child, a small child in the conflict. The second one is Reem Hajjadre, the tireless leader of this group, who travels wherever she can to bring awareness of Women of the Sun, and who works very closely with Women Wage Peace all across the spectrum. These two movements, as I said, published the Mother's Call. They wrote that together. It took them 9 months overnight. This is like having bearing a child, literally and figuratively. They argued, they cried, they hugged, and eventually they came to a result. And this Mother's Call is a very important instrument, if you so will, that we would urge everyone who is listening to go on our website and sign, because the more signatures, of course, that we get, the more important this document becomes. So if you can please go to the next slide, I'd like to read it to you. The Mother's Call. We, Palestinian and Israeli women from all walks of life, we are united in the human desire for a future of peace, freedom, equality, rights, and security for our children and the next generations. We believe that the majority of the people of our nations also share our mutual desire. Therefore, we demand that our leaders listen to our call and promptly begin peace talks and negotiations with a determined commitment to achieving a political solution to the long and painful conflict within a limited time frame. We call on the peoples of both nations, Palestinian and Israeli, and peoples of the region to join our call and demonstrate their support for the resolution of the conflict. We call on the women of the world to stand by us for a future of peace and security, prosperity, dignity, and freedom for ourselves, our children, and the people of the region. We call on people of peace from around the world, both young and old, religious leaders, people of influence, community leaders, educators, and those who hold this issue close to their hearts, to add their voices to our call. We invite our leaders to heed the voice and the will of the peoples in this call to resolve the conflict and achieve an inclusive, just peace. We are committed to taking an active role in the negotiation process until its successful resolution, in line with UN Resolution 1325. We call on our leaders to show courage and vision to bring about this historical change to which we all aspire. We join hands in determination and partnership to bring hope back to our people. This was in 2022, and basically nothing has changed. The process is still continuing. We still hope, and we will work tirelessly to make this mother's call a reality in all of its words and wording. And we hope this will happen in a short time. So a little bit more about the movements. Rhonda mentioned something at the beginning. Women Wage Peace was founded in 2014. It now has more than 50,000 members. There are Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Druze. They are from all walks of life. The efforts within the Israeli society, of course, are dialogue, empathy, to have a different voice from polarization, which of course is also a problem in Israel, definitely, as it is across the world, and to promote peace, person by person, one by one, and to require the full participation of women in the negotiations. Women are so very often overlooked in any political negotiations. And while I'm at it, I would like to add something that is important to me. When you listen to the song just in the very, very beginning of this presentation, at some point there was a lady talking over the video, and I want to mention who she is. She is Lema Gbowee. She's from Liberia, and she was one of the Nobel Peace Prize winners in 2011, and that is important to know in case you were wondering who she was. Then we have Women of the Sun. Women of the Sun was founded in 2021 in Bethlehem, Palestine. It has now more than 3,000 members in the West Bank and in Gaza. And Reem talked about the fact that they started only a couple of women, very painfully and slowly. It is also unfortunate to mention that some of their members have been killed during the ongoing war in Gaza. Their efforts within the Palestinian society are very much involving social issues, taking care of women, strengthening the role of women through education, of course, to promote peace, however careful they have to be, and again, to require full participation of women in all the negotiations. And these women have been doing that together. The two groups have been doing a lot of it together, especially before October 7th, 2023. So let's just go to the next slide and see what we have here. This is just a few examples of the activities that Women Wage Peace has been doing throughout the years. There are also some activities that we will show that they have done with Women of the Sun. The first picture on top left was taken by women from Women Wage Peace going to the Gazan border and warning of the danger, trying to create dialogue. Let's not include women. War is not a woman's game, so let's have women have more authority. Let's participate more and see if we cannot reach again a different trajectory. Of course, tragically, that did not happen. On the top right, we have one of the many, many marches that Women Wage Peace organized with Women of the Sun, with people from all over the West Bank, Gaza, before October 2023 again. We have the women in the bottom right doing parliamentary work, going to the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, demanding action, demanding change, there is a very important law that Women Wage Peace submitted, that political alternatives would come first. That law would demand that any government would have to check through all political and diplomatic alternatives before they think about starting a war. Unfortunately, as you can imagine, this activity is currently frozen. There is absolutely no chance to pass such a law with the current government. On the bottom left, you have a conference that we all, including Sister Martha Ann, participated this last May 2025. I'm not going to make you look with a looking glass, but somewhere in that crowd of turquoise scarves, there is Regular, there is Karen, and there is also me, and many, many others from Women Wage Peace. The room was a huge conference hall called Binyanei Haoma in Jerusalem. There were over 6,000 participants, many, many peace organizations coming together, trying to make a change. This time, of course, after the start of the war, as I said, in May of 2025. And right in the middle there, you just have a copy of the invitation to that amazing conference that we all participated, and a picture of Binyanei Haoma of the convention center with a welcome sign and the flags of so many countries, since there were also diplomats of over 100 countries that work in Israel that came to that conference and participated in it. So we'll continue. We have, of course, a lot of common interest and common activities, as I mentioned before. The most important of them all is that we are all mothers. We are all grandmothers. We don't want to lose our children. We don't want to raise them, as I said before, for death. We want to raise them for life. We want to talk another language. We want to take another trajectory. We want to get away from the existing narratives and look to a future where we manage to live next to each other without blaming, without shaming. And then maybe at some point we will be able to live with each other. That's what building bridges is about. It starts one step at a time. Since 2022, when the two groups officially started collaborating, they had encounters in Israel, they had encounters in Palestine, they had encounters abroad. They went together for demonstrations, campaigns, there were dialogues, there were workshops. Of course, all this has become much more difficult, if not almost impossible, since the massacre on October the 7th and the ensuing war. Let's look at one more slide. Here are a few pictures of meeting by the Dead Sea, of going to demonstrations, and I'm assuming that that is Jerusalem, kind of looks like it, and of getting together in meetings. And you see here Jewish participants of Women Wage Peace and participants from other denominations, and also participants from Women of the Sun, all together, listening to speakers, trying to find a way to work together. And then came October the 4th. And October the 4th brought about an amazing outpouring of hope. Women Wage Peace organized this huge rally by the Dead Sea and in Jerusalem. There were participants from everywhere taking part in it. There was such joy, such hope, such dreams of togetherness, and this willingness to change reality. And we were starting to get international support. There was diplomatic support. We were shouting at the top of our voices that we didn't want to lose any more children. And out of this came a video that was that I would like to show you now, that speaks for itself.
Their lives matter not because they are Palestinians or Israeli. Their life matter because they are all children.
We spent every second night in bomb shelters. Thousands died. But that is not where we are in Northern Ireland now. 6 months ago, we celebrated 25 years of the peace process known as the Good Friday Agreement.
We don't want to lose more children to this conflict.
אסור לשכוח שסכסוכים גדולים ומרים בעולם נפתרו, וזה יכול לקרות גם כאן.
نحن لا نريد غير حياة كريمة لأبنائنا سليمة وصحية نراهم يعيشون بلا خوف عليهم إن ضحكوا أو بكوا.
We hear that you say no to violence and conflict and yes to peace.
I am really proud to be a partner with you in this, in your peace building efforts.
بلد وهمها الوحيد المحافظة على أولادها. نحن هنا كلنا أمهات.
النور الذي ينبثق بفضل إصرار الأمهات الإسرائيليات والفلسطينيات من الجانبين.
קריאת האימהות שלנו, הזעקה המשותפת, חייבת להתחזק ולהתרחב.
That's why, as hard as it is, we must keep pursuing peace. We must keep pursuing a path so that Israel and the Palestinian people can both live safely, in security, in dignity, and in peace.
It always takes just a moment for me to digest this video. I have seen it so many numerous times, and every time I watch it again, it nearly, or not so nearly, brings me to tears. And of course, again, this was October the 4th. 3 days later, our world collapsed. I personally went to bed on the 6th of October and said, there's something wrong in Israel. And my husband said, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay tomorrow, just another skirmish. And of course, then we woke up October 7 to this nightmare of so many people killed, so many people kidnapped, and of course the ensuing nightmare that has not stopped for the last 2 years in Gaza, in Israel, in all our lives. We mourned in Israel losses of friends, of young and old people. We had sleepless nights because of worries about our sons and about our husbands and fathers and children, because we had sleepless nights because of the attacks, the sirens that wailed throughout the nights. We mourned terrible losses and destruction in the Gaza Strip. Personally, for many of us, we felt ashamed that Israel was perpetrating that which it is until today perpetrating in Gaza. And it took, I think, a while for the news to seep in what was going on in Gaza. But once that was a given, of course, the protests intensified. When there is a war, people usually don't go immediately into the streets because you want to stand behind your government, you want to be in unity, you're in shock, and you will do anything to mitigate that shock. But once we realized that there was a different agenda to the government, we were back in the streets. And you see here pictures of Women Wage Peace that there's the bigger picture to the right. There is our regular who is right here, who has joined us a while ago. And there's, of course, a few other people who are among the founders of Women Wage Peace in that picture. We started protesting not just every Saturday night when you see people protesting in the streets of Tel Aviv and other cities, but we protested almost every day. There were people of Women Wage Peace standing in the corners, with Hostage Square, with families of hostages, with demonstrators that were more involved in the political agenda every day of the week, and especially on Saturdays, hundreds of us, thousands of people everywhere in the streets, every day almost, and definitely every Saturday. Through all of this, we never stopped off our cooperation with Women of the Sun. Let's go to the next slide. That obviously became harder as time went by. We often helped with great difficulties to arrange for Reem Hajjajwi, whom you can see in some of the pictures, to come abroad, to be able to travel abroad, to able to arrange for her visas, since she lives in the West Bank and kind of was trapped and not able to travel at all. We received global recognition. We received the recognition of the Clinton Global Initiative, which you can see on the top left. We got the Clooney Foundation for Justice Award. Here in the middle, you see one of our founders, Orna. Her last name escapes me right now. And the other one is, of course, Dr. Yael Browder, one of the co-founders of Women Wage Peace. Up top, you see Yael Admi giving a very big hug to President Macron of France. And she gives him a copy of the Mother's Call, this very important document that we all should sign. As you go below and look at the colorful picture of all these women, those were crowned or elected as Women of the Year in 2024. An amazing array of women who are responsible for making changes in society, in economies, in all kinds of spheres. In the middle, you have a familiar face, of course, Oprah Winfrey. That picture, if I am not mistaken, was taken during the Diane von Furstenberg Awards, together with Yael Admi. And the last picture, but definitely not least important, is Pope Francis signing the Mother's Call at the Vatican, in the presence of representatives of all kinds of peace organizations, including some Israeli and some Palestinian peacemakers. I would actually like to mention their names. Maoz Zinon, who lost both his parents during October 7th. I think that's him in that black pants and that gray shirt. And his counterpart, whose name is Abu Aziz Sarah, he lost his brother during one of the confrontations with the Israeli authorities. But after October the 7th, he reached out to Maoz, and together they have been traveling the world trying to promote, again, that different trajectory to speak and promote peace. So it is not just women, it is people from all walks of life that are involved in trying to make a change. I would like to add a couple of more things that I have no pictures included here. The BBC included Women Wage Peace and Women of the Sun as among the 100 most influential women. We were prize finalists in 2024 for the EU Sakharov Prize. And the most important, that both in 2024 and in 2025, both Women Wage Peace and Women of the Sun were nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. And it's not over. So let's go to the next slide. Where do we go from here? We have all lived through an unbearable nightmare. I'm reading the slide. Loss, war, difficult economic reality. It is very easy to call the conflict one-sided, to listen to the propaganda that puts unequal emphasis on what is going on one side, or what went on one side and what is going on the other. But what is important not to forget is that wherever it is, wherever we are, there are human beings involved. Just plain human beings who want to come back to their families, who want to not be involved. in war, in fighting, and that obviously includes Israeli soldiers as well, who are being vilified. And it includes, there are a lot of difficulties that not everybody knows about, with soldiers coming home with post-traumatic stress disorder, with a whole array of problems. And of course, I don't even want to start and try to imagine what people in Gaza and are going through, and their families and their loved ones all over the world as well. But that said, again, we should not be dwelling on only our problems. We should try and solve them, but not just dwell on them. We want to choose again and again hope for peace over despair. We want to have faith in the power of solidarity, in the power of communications. We want to work for a diplomatic resolution of the conflict, because we truly, truly believe that only a diplomatic resolution to the conflict will give us that which we so desire and need: peace and security and a way forward. And that, we believe, requires the full participation of women. And we call out to all women and also all men in wherever they listen to help us in this, to go back to what I said in the beginning, to not use our energy to protest against or even for something else, but just to protest and to work pro-peace, just to take all that energy. I believe that both Israelis and Palestinians, we can use and we need to use all the help that we can get in order to achieve this. We need comprehensive security. We need freedom and a life with dignity for both our people. And now is the time to step up our actions, your actions, whatever it is that you can do. Every person in that conflict, in that change of trajectory counts. Let's go to the last slide, I think. As I already said, what can you do? Stay away from polarized information. Tell people about that different trajectory. Tell people about that voice of empathy and dialogue. Not everybody is a warmonger. Not everybody wants to kill, not on one side and not on the other. Let's not blame. Let's not shame. Let's forget to use the word but, because the word but is not going to lead us anywhere. Yes, you did this, but yes, I did this, but let's just try and find a different way to look at the conflict and to talk about it. Let's support our movements. Let's support the Mother's Call. Let's read that Mother's Call and read into it what it really means. That really cry for help all across the board. Let's promote those movements through communities, through media work, through parliamentary work. Join one of our support groups. Create a support group. I personally am not good at creating support groups. I just come to you. I'll come to anybody who wants to listen and I'll talk. And then you can create any support group you would like to create, and I'll be so happy, and Karen and Regula will be so happy, and they'll help you do it. They'll be the ones to guide you through all of this. And then, of course, somebody has to pay the light bill. So we also have a crowdfunding that is actually going on right now, lo and behold. So I'll end this presentation with a short video about that. And yeah, that's basically, please take it away.
Okay. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Shalom, salam, and peace.
With that, I am going to stop sharing and I'm going to go to some of the questions that have come in. So what would you say are the most urgent activities in light of the recent developments, you know, with the, what are some of the activities that people can do? I know you had mentioned support groups and that sort of thing. Do you have any suggestions as we who are observing here right now, just like, I want to get involved, you know, what would you suggest?
Yeah, I think one of the two ladies should take it, so please.
You want to start, Regina?
So who should start it? Who wants to start?
You, regular,
Okay,
you.
Sure, I do. Yeah. So hi everyone, and I'm sorry for being late, but I gave a note on it. Yeah. What are the next steps? I think first of all we have quite a shaky ceasefire. Yeah, and so the first and American government has been sending one after the other really top ministers to come and see that we're behaving on both sides. Let's put it like this. And I think that's really the first step, that the peace, that the ceasefire will hold, that all the hostages, remaining hostages, will be coming back. In a longer term, we have to strive for an agreement that is a regional agreement. It's not just us and the Palestinians, and it has to be much broader. We have the Abraham Accords, we have peace treaty with Egypt for many years, with Jordan, and it's lasting, even that times were really difficult sometimes, and also not only the past 2 years. And yeah, and the Saudis, they knock on the door, but they say, we only step in, we only make a peace agreement if the Palestinians are part of it. So this is where we have to go for in the very, very big picture. Yeah. And for this, we need help, and I think it's very much in line with Americans. It's very much in line with the Europeans. They have a little bit of a different approach. We saw the picture of Macron, of President Macron, and he's more involved in civil society, and I think that should be part of the approach, and that's exactly where we actually step in. Women Wage Peace, Women of the Sun, and many, many other peace organizations that should be part of negotiations, of an agreement. It's not just talking between politicians all the time, an army, yeah. And of course, women should have a major part in it.
Karen, anything to add?
I would say, well, first of all, hi, and thank you everyone for joining. I would say that what we are doing is we are out in the streets and demonstrating. So according to your community and what you feel comfortable, maybe when we have a big event, we could also share with you, and maybe you would also locally like to do some type of demonstration. It's also a matter of getting out our message. So if you could do that to your communities, that's very important all the time, but particularly now, to say how important the ceasefire is. And what Denise really stressed is that what we want to do is not go on one narrative or the other. We want to have where people can look at the big picture and can see that we're for pro peace, and we're not for one or the other. And I think that if that message gets out to your communities, and we could talk about perhaps doing another meeting, informational, So these are things that perhaps you could do, that you could join us in really pushing for the continuing ceasefire and also to get our message out.
That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
That's wonderful. Yeah, and I think you guys had said that you have quite a few chapters in the United States now. Yeah, could you tell us a little
Yes.
bit about that growth?
Sure. So it's really expanding, where what we found is right after the war, people really reached out to us. Regular was getting emails, and we were both getting a lot of emails, and people really wanted to find a different voice, and they wanted to hear. And so from those emails, we have someone in California, and we have Arizona, Denise, and we have in a lot of different places, and it's always expanding, where someone hears and someone else, and so it's very exciting. We would also love to have San Antonio to join us, but yes, we have different cities according to when someone reaches out to us, and then we get a connection and figure out what their community wants to do and how we can support them.
Great. Excellent. From the Student Center, how can we work more with the human rights groups? For example, Rabbis for Human Rights. I apologize, I'm not sure how to say this. BTSALEM.
B'Tselem.
That's what I said, yes. And then Israeli Group for Human Rights. Yeah, so how do you feel like that would be a good avenue to reach out to those types of organizations as well, to work with them and help spread the word?
I mean, I think that all the different organizations with good messages and have the right is always good to join, just understand their message, because I don't know all the organizations, so that people really have to look and see what the message is and what they're. But we work, Women Wage Peace works with a lot of different peace organizations. So, and when they were talking about the conference in Jerusalem in May of 2025, we were with 60 other organizations. We were one of the bigger organizations, but we work with a lot of different groups.
Yeah, excellent.
And if I can just add, it's what Karen mentioned and Denise showed in the presentation. There's a conference in Jerusalem. The foundation, its time, or this organization was actually born after the war. We had the first conference about 9 months after the beginning of the war. And it was like really a new thing, yeah, because there's so many different ideologies on the right, on the left, and every, yeah, and there were a lot of discussions, and it was really, and arguments between the different organizations. It was really this, It's Time organization is the first time that 60 groups come together and work together. And that's why we had 5,000, 6,000 people in the gathering, and that was really
impressive.
Was new in the in his
mind-boggling, yeah.
Incredible. Incredible. One comment on the slide where the Ms. Silver was killed, and then there was the blank square. I think just to address an issue about why that was blank and was there no one else to show. It's the risk to the people in Gaza. Their families could be targeted, and it's just too risky a thing. So I just wanted to clarify that.
It's reality here. It's really a reality, and also for our sister organization, there's a real balance between wanting to get out our message, but also not putting them in harm's way. So it's a real balance there.
Yeah, and it seems like an agreed upon strategy. One question that one that just came in: what is the symbolism of the white with the blue scarf?
Regular?
Yeah, the blue scarf. It's turquoise. I don't know
Oh,
how
yes,
it
yes,
comes
yeah,
through.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Can
sure.
you see
Otherwise,
it's
it's,
turquoise?
women and
Yeah,
pure
yeah. They're
and the
beautiful.
scarf. It's a mixture of the Israeli flag and the green in the Muslim. That is one of the Muslim colors. So it's really a mixture because we want to show that we're not a Jewish movement, but we are an Israeli movement that embraces Jews and Muslims and Christians and Druze.
Excellent,
So
excellent.
this is the idea.
There was one of the speakers in one of the videos drew the parallel of the Good Friday Agreement and what had happened in that protracted conflict for, oh my gosh, so long in Ireland.
Right.
Do you guys work closely with any of those folks to help navigate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've had some of our women go over to Ireland, and we have close connection with also all the different ambassadors, Irish ambassadors. Angela, who is part of our foreign relations, works very closely with also the Irish, but also the other ambassadors as well. So yes, and if you guys want to add, did you want to add something, Regula?
Maybe just in this same conference that we had in May this year, we had several workshops, and one of the workshops was planned to be with some of the leaders of the Irish Good Friday Agreement. In the end, the skies were half closed because of all the missiles and things going on here, but they came online over Zoom.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Very, very interesting workshops.
Oh, definitely.
I would.
That's right.
Yeah, we would be very interested in. I don't know if there's videos or some of the.
It's a movie. It's actually a movie.
Oh yeah.
And we're trying to find out if we can that's a little complicated with the rights.
Sure,
but
sure.
If we could, for some reason, that we definitely would love to bring it to the States, because it was a very inspirational movie. And also talking to though the women, in the end, it was only by Zoom because their flights were canceled. The Irish women who were, but it was very inspirational, that movie. So we hope that's something we are going to work on. So we'll see.
Excellent. I think that covers all the Q&A, and look at how efficient we are at 2 minutes to 1 o'clock. I can't begin to thank y'all enough for everything you're doing and for taking the time to be here in this wonderful presentation. And we will be, this has been recorded. We will post it and send it out to everyone who attended and those who couldn't attend. And again, humongous thanks for all you're doing. So anything else to add before we let everybody get on with their Wednesday?
I'll send you an email, Rhonda, when I'm going to finalize, hopefully, my crowdfunding page, and with the help of Karen when we're done here. And then I can, if anybody's interested, obviously I can send you the information, and I will send you the information, and then we can do that too. Just a small part,
okay,
but very important.
I love it.
And
I'd like to thank you, Rhonda, and Sister
And-
Mark, and everybody else that was involved, and Karen, whom I work with and Denise that gave
It's amazing.
the whole presentation. I'm glad you did it, not me.
You did a wonderful job,
It was
Denise.
really good.
Thank you, everyone, for taking the time out. We really appreciate it, and really thank you, Rhonda.
Okay, you guys take care. Thank you.
It
See
was
you.
wonderful
Thank
meeting
you.
you, and I hope we'll stay in touch. And
Oh yes, we will. Don't you? Okay. See you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.